Here to talk about another exciting episode of MAFS, better known as Married at First Sight. I got to take back everything I said about Olajuwon last week, or O, as they were calling him. He just came across as straight up weird to me tonight, just bizarre. I'm like, I liked how he stood up for himself last week and asserted himself and stood up to Lindsay, but I don't know, he was giving like such egotistical vibes tonight. I was like, did you see when they were all together? I'm gonna just start with Katina and Olajuwon. Did you see when they were all together? I think on a boat or whatever, and they were playing Have You Ever, and he talked about messing around with a daughter and a mom and was bragging on it. Everybody like stopped when he said it. Everybody's like, did he mean to say this out loud? They're all looking around. I'm like, why would you say that? It's like, who would have ever known that unless you said it? It's like he was bragging, like showing, yeah, I'm the man, or I used to be the man, or look how far I've come, or whatever. I just thought that was pretty low class and just plain stupid. I mean, how are you going to sit there bragging, yeah, I mess with a mom and a daughter? Man, there ain't nothing to brag about. Like, dude, what, you feel like you accomplished something? Yeah, I didn't like that. And I thought it was weird too when he took Katina to the gym and he was working her out, trying to push her hard. And I think he even either took off his wedding ring or threatened to or something, because later he told all the guys, like, yeah, I was pushing her on purpose to see like where her mind was at, to see if she would go along with it, or tell me, hey, I'm not ready for all this. He's like, yeah, I married the right one. I'm like, what? This dude is coming across weird, man. I'm like, it's one thing to be masculine, full of testosterone and assertive, but it's like, why do you gotta come across like a weirdo? You know what I mean? I just didn't like all that. And even when he got back to the room and he was talking to Katina and he's just telling her, it seems kind of like he's hustling her, like trying to get her mind, like, yeah, I'm going to take care of you, I'm going to do this. And she starts crying and all that. When they were having dinner, she started talking about her encounter with Lindsay she had on the boat earlier. And he liked that she defended him. Every man likes for his wife to defend him, but, he's like, let's not spoil the mood. Let's not talk about that or whatever. But like I said, I don't know what you guys saw. I just thought he came across very weird. I mean, I knew the dude had an ego, but let's just say it wasn't a good ego. Not that an ego's ever a good thing. Let's call it self-esteem. He kind of took the self-esteem thing to a new level. Yeah, I wasn't really liking that. Good old Arissa and Chris. They went snorkeling he went snorkeling and scuba diving. I think they call it, snuba diving or whatever. I don't know. But he was down there with the fish and liking it. And of course, she didn't want to participate. She talked about his body when she said she had never seen him with his shirt off, even though she saw him earlier with the guys. And I heard on the after show she likes muscular guys and stuff. And he's just not her type. And she's using any excuse to... It's like she's mad at the dude I said before for not being her type. I mean, that's not fair, He didn't hook you guys up, so why should you take it out on him? And she thinks she's taking the high road every time she's nice. The guy ain't done jack to you. I mean, how are you taking the high road? I mean, if you got any complaints, go take it up with the producers or the doctors or whoever matched you. Stop taking it out on him. It's not his fault. He ain't done nothing to you. In fact, he's being a lot nicer than I would have been, or a lot of other men. They'd have told you where you could go real fast. Like I always say, kick rocks barefoot on Pebble Beach. That's what I would have told you. But she's just bizarre, and she seemed like she was going to get along with them at first. I'm like, yeah, she's just trying to enjoy the vacation. But later on, she's sitting by herself and crying. And the producer asks her what's wrong. And she's like, I don't want to be here. And I mean, we already knew that. But if you really didn't want to be there, why don't you leave the show? What, you trying to get a check or what? I mean, come on, are times really that hard? But then she starts crying, talking about her mom called her and was putting her down, saying, "This ain't gonna make you look good on the show, and you should try to get along with them." And she started crying, feeling like her mom betrayed her. So I thought it was funny on the after show. They were showing a clip from next week, and and Arissa was crying, saying, "I'm really a good person," and Lindsay was just cracking up. Lindsay said, "It's just funny to me." Keisha Knight, Pull Your Master, what's funny? She said, "It's just funny to me how somebody has to keep telling you every 10 minutes that they're a good person." And I thought that was pretty observant of her. It is funny, because if you're really a good person, people will see it. You don't have to keep telling them. You don't have to keep telling them. Think about all the good people you know in your life. Do they have to keep telling you every 20 minutes, "Hey, I'm a good person"? Call you up, "Hey, what's up, man? What you doing?" "Yeah, hey, you know I'm a good person, right?" Send you a text next 20 minutes, "Hey, I am a good person, LOL." I send back, "Now I wonder, SMH." But yeah, that after party was pretty interesting tonight. And it got really weird because now I kind of see why Arissa is so weird, because she went to go see this evil clown that told her the guy she was going to marry had, she said, an eagle tattoo. I found out on the after party it was really a lion tattoo. And Steve found out at the reception or something, and he had a lion tattoo, so he covered it up. They were saying, "Don't take off your shirt, because that it'll look like you were the guy she was supposed to marry." So she changed it later so she wouldn't offend Noe, and said it was an eagle, but it was really a lion. The evil clown told her that she was supposed to marry some guy with I guess, a muscular body and an eagle tattoo. So, or a lion tattoo, but that leaves out Steve because he's not really muscular. But, who knows what people consider muscular nowadays. But, Arissa's just got a whole heap of problems, as they say. And Chris, man, this dude is pretty even-tempered. He's taking he's taking a lot better than I would have, or most men for that matter. I mean, she's talking about his body. I mean, she doesn't look like something I would see on the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. She wouldn't make that by any stretch of the imagination. So before she wants to talk about his body, she might want to pull up the old mirror. Yeah. It's called him like I see it. Like I said, you put yourself out there, then you get critiqued. What do you want from me? Let's see. Who else was there? Lindsay and Mark. Now, it seemed like they were getting along. They consummated their marriage. And she just really blew up on Mark later because they were having dinner on the beach. And she was under the impression, I heard on the after party, that he kept bragging like, "Yeah, you're going to be amazed," and this and that. And then they went and he was telling her, "We got to pump our brakes. Let's take it slow." And I guess she's thinking, slow? She said on the after party, they, did their thing that morning like 3 times before that. So she's thinking, take it slow. Like, aren't we a little past that? But he's like, take it slow. He's really meaning her personality. He kind of wants her to reel it in, like her family told him that occasionally he'll need to make her reel it in. So she didn't like that. She got real defensive, started putting the guy down, saying, "Yeah, well, you might want to stop leaving the bathroom door open and erupting during the night, if you know what I mean, and clogging up the toilet." So she starts coming with these insults, and he's just looking at her like, "I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just saying, let's kind of pace ourselves here." But she wasn't having it. She got real mad, walked off from the table. She got smart with them at the hotel room, didn't even want to talk. She just wanted to go to bed. She got real upset at Mark the Shark, as they call him. And he seems like a real good guy. And if she blows that, it'll be her fault. And I think her family knows that too. But people, are kind of set in their ways, especially when they get to the mid-30s or late 30s. They're kind of set in their ways, and you can't really tell them anything. And she seems like one of those kind of people that'll learn, but it has to be on her own terms. When she sits alone at night and looks up at the ceiling like, man, I'm lonely, she'll figure out where she went wrong, perhaps. But Mark seems like a real cool guy. I don't know if they'll make it. I told you guys before, I'm not really feeling this cast. I don't know. It's like something's off, you know. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I watched something on Johnny. I think it was Tamara Tattletales again from a while ago. He said some of his portion of his show was scripted. Scripted. I know Gil said none of his was scripted, so maybe they only go to certain people where they feel something's lacking and they start writing for them. I mean, I could tell some of it was scripted, but Johnny admitted it. What about his non-disclosure form? I'm sure he violated that. He'll probably be paying a fine. I know the show's over and everything. Maybe it's over, but I don't think they want that to get out. I mean, I knew the Australian version was scripted. That was pretty much just a soap opera without them admitting it. And yeah, I was surprised at that. Let's get to Jasmina and Michael. Now when they were on the boat, I didn't hear what he claims though. He said that Jasmina interrupted him and cut him off, and he wanted an apology. And she's like, I'm not apologizing to you the way you want me to apologize to you, homie. Know what you think this is? We got a problem here. We got a problem here. Oh, I'm sorry, Boys in the Hood flashback. But she's like, I'm not gonna apologize to you. And then she pulled the Jedi mind trick, which a lot of women do. He apologized to her. I'm like, come on, dude, stand your ground. If you want an apology, man up and get your apology, or don't cave in. He was apologizing. I'm like, dude, stop. But you know, he's like, well, I guess we can agree to disagree, because she said, I'm sorry you feel that way. He's like, that's not an apology. Would you want that from me? And I know what he's talking about. That's really not an apology. That's like someone insulting you. Instead of saying sorry that they insulted you, they'll say, I'm sorry you were offended at what I said. They're not sorry what they said. They're just saying they're sorry you took it that way, which is not a sincere, true apology. He should have stood his ground. Be a G. She had him apologize. I'm like, come on, man. Come on, man. I don't know if they're going to make it, because he's pretty serious. She's pretty serious. And she was talking about their fights are over like little petty stuff, like little small insignificant things that get blown out of proportion. She's talking about like leaving him and being done with it. I'm like, it ain't that serious. I mean, what happens if a real problem comes up? What you gonna do then? I mean, if you're fighting that bad over this, I mean, he better never cheat or look at another woman. I guess it's a burrito. A wrap. But yeah, it was an entertaining show. Like I keep saying, this group of people are a little bit hard to take. This might be a hard season for me to get through, because I'm not really feeling different personalities, and Olajuwon is over the top. The dude is he's got Katina already talking about she thinks she's about to fall in love with him, and yeah. And he's like, yeah, your boy got you. That's what he wanted, you know. He wanted to get her head. That's kind of a pimp thing, you know, get their minds first, you know. And he obviously thinks he's a pimp. I don't know about any of these couples anymore. Did I cover Noy and Steve? He was pretty annoyed that Noy said she loved him after 3 days. And he's like, okay, he didn't say it back or whatever. I'm like, man, she's that interested? I mean, usually when you have no job, that's a red flag to a woman. She's like, deuces, sideways, I'm out, peace. But I guess she's like, nah, I'll give him a shot. And he seems like, I was saying that he doesn't really seem like he's interested in her too much. I was telling my mom that we were watching it together. And I said, he doesn't really seem interested in her. And she agreed. But then later, when they were in the pool, and I guess he was turned on at that point, then all of a sudden he seemed interested. So I don't know about any of these couple. I know for a fact Arissa and Chris aren't making it. I mean, that's a given. Arissa knows it and Chris knows it. And I thought it was funny on the after party how Keisha Knight Pulliam, Rudy from the Cosby Show, how she checked Lindsay and was telling her she had Karen-like qualities and how her attitude towards black men can get him in a lot of trouble, you know. And that's what Katina and Lindsay got into it on the boat about. Katina was telling her she's too old to be acting the way she is. And Lindsay was like, "You're rude." She's like, "Well, you're rude," or something like that. And she was saying, you start stuff, you know, and then you turn around and try to play the victim. And that's not cool. But then later on the after party, Katina was bigging up her husband and saying he can be a bit over the top, but who am I to talk, you know? So she still kind of took a shot. But then I guess she realized in the middle of her sentence she was taking a shot at Olajuwon. So then she pulled back and, you know, he's a bit much, but so am I. But yeah, a lot of handfuls on this season. Whoever signs up to this show after watching this season has a lot of either courage or stupidity or both, because like I said, they're probably not going to hook you up with what you want, and it might make you look a little bit crazy, just a tad bit. And they might be right, because if you sign up, look what's waiting for you. A big disaster, man, you know? Scene. But for all my Jamaican people out there, by the way. But anyway, what do you guys think of this week's episode of Married at First Sight? What is this, episode 5 or something like that? Let's see, am I forgetting anything? Let's see. I still thought it was weird, though, when Olajuwon was talking about the mom and the daughter and it being a beautiful experience. Oh, and he's talking about threesomes. He got real kinky, and he was saying, if you offered another woman, why would I refuse it? Like, I'm all for it, but only if you offer it. And then later he asked her at dinner, that didn't bother you? So I don't know if he was doing one of his tests again like he was doing at the gym. I just thought he came across too egotistical and bizarre and pimpish. And he keeps talking about he left that life behind. He called that old him Isaac or whatever. It just was really bizarre, and it seemed immature and crazy. And I didn't like it. And I'm sure she didn't like it either. And I don't know if you viewers liked it. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought of this week's episode. Make sure to subscribe, like, and be fearless like my hat says. Yeah.